Mr. Speaker, may I move to recognize the Honorable Representative Paul Daza of the 1st District of Northern Samar.
Representative Paul Daza is recognized. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, my esteemed colleagues, friends, guests, mga mahal kong mga kababayan. Mr. Speaker, during our recent budget hearings, some of you might remember that we had long discussions with the Department of Information and Communications Technology, what we call DICT, particularly on the poor performance of the much-needed free Wi-Fi for all program. Yan po yung tinatawag na free public Wi-Fi. We pointed out how this has failed to reach its installation target year after year, and with many Wi-Fi hotspots no longer operational in different locations. To remind everyone, to remind my colleagues, the government's target was to provide 105,000 free public Wi-Fi hotspots. To this end, the legislative branch approved and allocated the House 12 billion pesos to the rightful implementing agency, which is the DICT. Recently, however, we were informed that the DICT downloaded 3 to 4 billion pesos of this allocation, mainly to the MMDA and several LGUs through Memorandum of Agreements, or MOAs. This is an example of what we call an interagency transfer. But this one in particular doesn't seem to have clear guidance from Congress, which is mandated to enact the General Appropriations Act, making this transaction or this interagency transfer or MOA agreement highly suspicious, if not illegal. While we can assume that this downloading of funds was executed on good intentions, we in Congress highlight the sacred duty of sound fiscal management. Interagency transfer of funds, which were already appropriated by law, could only be done with consent of Congress. In this case, it seems we were completely blindsided. Nagawa nila na walang tayong kaalam-alam. For the purpose of due diligence, we have continued to reach out to the DICT so they may share with us a more comprehensive report on the status of the free Wi-Fi for all program. Hopefully, this report will explain exactly why the interagency transfers needed to be done in the first place. More importantly, is the main recipient of this transfer, the MMDA, is spending the money wisely and transparently. Take, for example, a project that they bid it out with a total budget of 1,100,000,000 pesos. Officially called the NCR Fiber Optic Backbone Development, this high-value contract bid it out last November 8 and supposed to be ready to be awarded. Curiously, a quick check on the MMDA's website procurement page does not show any detail yet on the supposed awarding of the project. Nevertheless, we were informed by a very reliable source that this big budget 1 billion peso project apparently had only one bidder, a joint venture between two companies called Awin and Net Pacific, Inc. Alam ninyo naman po, Mr. Speaker, na tumataas ang kilay ng taong bayan pagkapag ganito ang setup. As our reliable source put it, malaking project pero isa lang ang bidder at walang bang iba pa na nag-qualify. That is precisely why we are compelled now to ask. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, I'm here speaking out on this MMDA project. How did a project as big as this fly completely under the radar? We checked online, and except for the bidding documents, there doesn't seem to be any news about this 1.1 billion project. Is the JV truly qualified? How were the bidders evaluated vis-a-vis the criteria? Were there any other bidders during the pre-bid conference? If so, why were they all disqualified? Did the MMDA allow enough time or extend the submission period to allow more qualified bids for a high-valued project such as this one. Who are the two companies behind the joint venture? Is AWIN the same company that caused a major accident along EDSA in Mandaluyong during a drilling activity, which caused a water pipe to burst, leading to flooding and disruption of traffic in April last year? If it is the same company, did it already pay MWSS for the damages and the inconveniences caused? Is there no internal rule to deduct substantial points in the scoring system for recent accidents, such as this one, for example, for any significant accident that took place within 3 years of the procurement? Why did the bid documents on page 9 mentions the source of funds as Trust Funds 2022 instead of DICT? Meanwhile, DICT was mentioned in the terms of reference, although it was not clear who are the executing and implementing agencies. What is the accountability plan and structure? Mr. Speaker, my esteemed colleagues, kung wala pong clear accountability and structure, baka po magbago ang ibig sabihin ng MMDA. Baka imbes na Metro Manila Development Authority, ang maging kahulugan ng MMDA ay money-making from DICT allocations. At hindi lang po yun. Recently, and again from several reliable sources, we had been informed of anomalous bidding, many due to overpricing, some of them with apparent collusion. Of course, all this could be described as mere speculations, Mr. Speaker. Nevertheless, Congress is duty-bound to validate apparent overpriced projects, such as landscape treatment pocket parks along EDSA. For example, the landscaping project should have required 9.9 million pesos at the maximum, but was surprisingly allotted a budget of 33.2 million during actual bidding. A random check in the procurement pages of MMDA revealed the following interesting data. 2 laptops procured at 181,000 pesos. That means each laptop cost a staggering amount of 90,500 pesos per laptop. Grabe naman, Mr. Speaker. 1 unit of tablet procured by MMDA at 121,000 pesos. What kind of tablet will cost 121,000 pesos? Is it really needed? How are we going to justify to our taxpayers that MMDA needs a tablet worth 121,000 pesos? One half of this amount, assuming MMDA instead bought a good tablet at 60,000 pesos, could have bought about 15 pieces of tablet for poor and deserving students. These questions are being raised so that we could support our government, especially our president, in cleaning up the bureaucracy, including MMDA. I highly doubt that the president nor the former MMDA chair, whom I personally know to be of good character, know what's going on in MMDA. Mr. Speaker, we have full faith in our president's leadership, and we trust that this leads, and along with the support of Congress, will lead the call for the conduct of immediate investigation of the procurement of MMDA, especially this 1 billion 100 pesos bid for the NCR fiber optic backbone project, which was originally allocated for the DICT. We're seeing an alarming pattern, Mr. Speaker. I hope I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong. However, if this interagency transfer of funds and or procurement is deemed illegal, then MMDA needs to do the right thing and revert the funds to DICT or the National Treasury. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, MMDA, our people count on us to do the right thing. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Representative Paul Dasa to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The privileged speech of Honorable Representative Paul Dasa is hereby referred to the Committee on Rules.